Not every enemy screams. Some smile. There's a moment that changes everything. It doesn't come with a fight. It doesn't come with shouting or slammed doors. It comes in silence, a dinner table, a text message, a pause in a conversation where you suddenly see it. You see that this person, this friend, this coworker, this partner, is not just difficult. They drain you. Twist your words. Turn your kindness into guilt. And when you finally set a boundary, they play the victim. And for the longest time, you think, maybe I'm too sensitive. Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe I can fix this. But today, something different happens. You don't rush to apologize. You don't blame yourself. You just sit with the truth. This person is not confused. They are not misunderstood. They are toxic, by design. And they survive by feeding on people like you. People who care. People who explain. People who want peace. But here's the real wake-up call. The more you try to be understood by someone who doesn't want to understand you, the more control you hand over. So today, you stop. You take a deep breath. And you make a decision that changes your life. You will never again lower your peace to meet someone else's chaos. Not because you're cold. But because you've grown tired of bleeding for people who wouldn't even bandage you. This is the first step. Not away from them, but back to yourself. You owe no one an explanation for your peace. You used to think silence was weakness. That if you didn't explain yourself, people would get the wrong idea. They'd say you were cold, heartless, selfish. But the truth is, the toxic never cared about your explanation. They never wanted to understand. They wanted to confuse. To guilt. To control. You could write 1,000 words, and they'd only read one. The one they could twist. So now you don't explain. You don't argue. You simply exit. You become a mystery. A locked door they used to walk through barefoot. You understand what the Stoics meant by discipline. By silence. By letting your actions speak in a language only the wise understand. They will call your stillness arrogance. Your calm, distance. Your peace, betrayal. Let them. Because your soul isn't a courtroom and your spirit isn't on trial. You are not here to convince anyone of your worth. You are here to protect it. So now, when the manipulator knocks, you don't answer. When they provoke, you don't react. When they demand clarity, you offer silence. Because real strength doesn't raise its voice. It simply stops giving access. Not everyone deserves a key to your peace. Picture your mind as a fortress. Not made of brick or stone, but of stillness, focus, and values. Now picture the toxic ones as invaders, throwing rocks of sarcasm, shooting arrows of blame, hoping you'll lower the gate. Because once you do, they don't just visit, they take over. They rearrange your thoughts. Question your worth. Make you second-guess your instincts. And when they're done draining you, they leave you doubting yourself. But here's what you've learned. Just because someone knocks doesn't mean you have to answer. You've learned to guard your peace the way a warrior guards sacred ground. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. So now you don't argue. You don't invite chaos to sit at your table. You set standards, not alarms. You understand, a calm mind is not passive. It's precise. It knows when to speak and when to vanish. It knows that not reacting is often the deadliest response. Because while toxic people wait for your outburst, you give them silence. While they throw bait, you don't bite. And while they demand access, you lock the door and keep the key. Not out of hatred, but out of discipline. When you stop expecting, you start seeing clearly. There's a moment in life when the veil lifts. When you stop asking, why are they like this? And you start saying, this is who they are. Not everyone is lost. Some are exactly where they want to be, in chaos, in envy, in control. And no matter how much patience you offer, how much empathy you pour, they will stay the same. Because they don't need help. They need attention. They don't want healing. They want power. And your hope, that they'll change, that they'll evolve, is the fuel they burn to stay the same. You try to inspire them? They call it arrogance. You offer advice? They twist it into judgment. You step back? They call it betrayal. But listen, you owe no one your peace as proof of your love. You owe yourself the truth. You cannot fix someone who profits from being broken. As the Stoic philosopher Monimus taught, when someone acts unjustly, it's their character you're witnessing, not your worth being diminished. So what do? You drop the silent contract. The one where you suffer quietly, hoping your kindness will one day be noticed. You begin expecting nothing da. Not apologies, not changes, not clarity da. And in that space, you gain everything, clarity da. Freedom da. Power. Because now, when they lie, you don't explain da. When they betray, you don't beg da. When they disappear, you don't chase. You've seen who they are da. And you've finally remembered who you are. You don't need revenge. You need elevation. There's a silence that roars louder than rage da. A calm that shatters illusions more than confrontation ever could. And that silence is your final move. The toxic want noise da. They want chaos da. They want you to scream, to fight, to prove da. Why? Because that means they still matter. But when you live so intentionally, so deeply anchored in purpose, their games become dust in the wind. You don't run da. You rise da. Not to escape them, but to return to yourself. Your time becomes sacred da. Your energy becomes rare da. Your attention becomes earned, not owed. You walk past the provocations like a storm walks past a stone. Unshaken da. Untouched da. Unreachable. Seneca once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Let them gossip da. Let them mock da. Let them try to pull you down. Because you're not even there anymore da. You're building da. You're healing da. You're becoming so full of purpose that the sound of their bitterness fades into background static. You're not silencing them to punish them da. You're silencing them to protect your future da. You're not moving on to prove anything da. You're moving on because nothing, absolutely nothing, is more important than becoming who you were born to be. You are no longer bothered da. No longer drained da. No longer a prisoner to their approval. You are now unbothered da. Unreachable da. Untouchable.